This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 119 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
I wish they had a Gungan there.
Probably be easier to find the Lethan Twi'lek than the, middle-aged person in the Star Wars shirt.
And every year, you'd go to the Cerritos Mall and you'd sit on Unkar Plutt's lap.
Oh my god.
Tell us about that story, since we know zero about him except he's a peg warmer at Walmart.
Happy Life Day, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hello, Skywalkers.
Listen!
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Wow. Oh, what?
You are skywalking through Neverland.
Hey, Skywalkers! Thank you for joining us on
Skywalking Through Neverland.
And welcome to all the new Skywalkers who are just joining us for the first time. And of course, welcome back to all the returning Skywalkers.
That's right. I think we have landed on a word.
I like that.
For
returning.
all our Skywalkers. And we want to thank Lori Hokema on Twitter, who tweeted at us, weighing in on the vintage versus classic, etc. debate. How about just returning Skywalkers? That way no one feels old. Aww.
You know what? Let's ask the Scope Walkers who are watching right now. Scope Walkers, do we like that? Returning Skywalkers?
Yeah, but formerly before, if you're just joining us on the show, we have called them vintage or retro or veteran or first generation Skywalkers. So yay, returning Skywalkers. Heather Hunt likes it.
Okay.
I like it.
Vote for returning Skywalker. So you know what? I like that. It has a good Star Wars ring to it.
Oh, yay.
Well, you know what? I want to say welcome to everyone to our family-friendly Star Wars Disney podcast that brings you entertaining stories from creators and fans. I am Richard, and now everyone, please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah, who is more Team Chris Evans than Team Captain America.
I'm Team Cap. To me, Chris Evans is Captain America. There you go.
Well, you know what? I was foreshadowing what's to come.
That's very true. Well, Team Cap here, and I was wearing my Captain America shirt yesterday, my SHIELD shirt.
Guess what we saw last night?
Oh my goodness. We saw Civil War, but we'll get into that a little later. No spoilers.
No spoilers, but if you don't want to know anything, then don't listen to that part. But you know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are. Oh, Team Star-Lord. Team Cap. Yay. All right.
These Scope Walkers are on it.
I know. I love it. Yeah. We love periscoping our show. So thank you so much for joining us. And also, Skywalkers, thank you so much for sharing the show throughout all of social media. I know a bunch of you just shared that we were periscoping the opening of this show. Well, also, we love it. If you're listening right now, if you want to tweet at us at SkywalkingPod. And it's fun when people tweet along while they're listening, and we just love that. So
we interrupt this episode of Skywalking Through Neverland for the special news announcement.
Breaking news! Star Wars Celebration 2017 is announced! And guess where it is?
It's not going to be in Anaheim. It's not going to be in London. It's not going to be in Pittsburgh or Cleveland.
Nope. It's in Orlando! Wow.
Pack your bags. We're going back to Florida.
Yep, back to Florida in April, which we learned was kind of beautiful for weather. So hopefully it's the same way.
They couldn't have picked a better time frame. Literally,
yes.
This is the best time frame to be in Florida. Now, go ahead and tell everyone when the dates are.
Okay, it is. So StarWars.com says set coordinates for Orlando, Florida, April 13th through 16th, 2017 at the Orange County Convention Center. So tickets will be 4-day tickets, of course, single day and VIP tickets, and they are scheduled to go on sale. Mark your calendars, everyone. Wednesday, May 25th at noon Pacific time. So everyone, get ready. It's so exciting. I love this how on StarWars.com they said noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, or 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So they even do it for the people in London.
I love how they place these announcements. Today, on May the 4th, they tell us when Celebration 17 is going to take place, but tickets will go on sale on the other Star Wars Day, May 25th.
I know, it's so funny.
Who is going? I know we are.
We are definitely going. We are super excited. And I guess this means some more Orlando fun.
Now, the big question is, will they roll the Dark Side Challenge, the Star Wars Marathon, into the same weekend?
Oh, I kind of hope not, because that would literally kill us. Well,
if anything, we would just do the 10K then.
Yeah, we'll just do one race.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they do that.
Okay.
That would be such a power-packed, 24-hour-a-day Star Wars marathon.
Yes, it would.
In both senses of the word.
Wow. Okay, well, super exciting. And we will see a lot of you there. So tweet at us if you're coming at Skywalking Pod.
And what kind of things do you want to see at Star Wars Celebration 2017? I know my vote is for the podcast stage to return.
That's exactly what popped into my head. So
both on the same page.
Yep.
What do you Skywalkers want to see? Tweet at us.
At Skywalking Pod.
We now return you to Skywalking Through Neverland, already in progress.
Thank you, everyone. Please tweet at us at Skywalking Pod. You will be a tweet walker.
Now, what do you call it when you're messaging during a Periscope recording?
Messaging? I think they're just scope walkers, and that's what you do on Periscope is you comment. So
right.
it's kind of
well,
ingrained.
You know me. I like to make things more difficult. Okay.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
All right.
Scoping.
All right. Good. Oh, scoping. All right. There you go. You ask, and they put it out there, and there you go. We can move on.
Rick Stevens says scoping.
All right. Now let's move on to this episode.
Scope talkers.
Scope talkers. All right, scope talkers.
Juan John, thank you.
So,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, I like that. But now let's move on to the show.
Okay.
Now we got a great show coming up, and I'm so happy and excited about this. In honor of the May 4th holiday, we will be discussing fan-made holidays.
Ooh.
Whether it's May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, or the 6th, July 17th in honor of the opening of Disneyland, Life Day, or even Harry Potter Day, which was held yesterday on May the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Scope Talkers, do you know why May 2nd is Harry Potter Day? Let's see if anyone can get this. So while they're tweeting up their answers, Scope Talking their answers.
Someone said that May 2nd may have been the first day that Harry Potter was released, like the first book.
Well, when I was doing my research on fan holidays or pop culture holidays, May 2nd is when the Battle at Hogwarts took place.
Oh,
and this was in Deathly Hallows Part 2. So I don't know when they ever discussed that.
Okay, that's what Imperial Trooper says too.
Oh, there you go. See,
Battle of Hogwarts. I know someone else said it too, unless that was
I don't know if it was just
we just
book.
Missed it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that is what May 2nd represents. Now, coming up on this episode, in honor of May the 4th, we discuss fan-made holidays.
So basically, we asked Skywalkers to kind of create their own holiday and express your creativity that way. And we're going to go through a bunch of what our Skywalkers have listed.
Us hardcore fans, we don't leave the holiday conceptions up to 1,000-year-old religions, the government, or even Hallmark. We want to do it ourselves. So we've taken holidays into our own hands, and we will go into your ideas that you guys had posted on our Skywalking Through Neverland group page.
Yeah.
On Facebook. So I'm really excited about this once again.
Yes. And also, we will debut our new segment, Skywalker Stories, where we asked that all of you Skywalkers submit a fun-worthy experience. And gosh, you guys responded. So we have a story today, and we'll definitely be keeping this segment going. And on this week's episode, we have Alison Berrios of CosplayForJedi, and she will tell us kind of a bad, good story. So good news, bad news.
All right, now, our Long Beach neighbor and Skywalker, Drew Kaplan, is back to give a review of Star Wars Tales from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, Aliens, Volume 1.
Ooh,
that's a mouthful.
That is. All the Star Wars books have really long titles.
And we have a vintage and current entry in our Skywalking on TV segment. We have shout-outs, Skywalker of the Week, and
things we want to share. Things we want to share. Things we want to share.
All right, I have something to share.
Do you have something to share with the Skywalkers out there?
Yes, I
Meaning,
do.
do they get something that you want to share?
Yes, they do. Yes, we have a new giveaway. La 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 la. DK Publishing.
Hey, leave that to
Yes?
Rob.
Oh,
Rob's the jingle man.
okay.
Okay,
I
leave the
can't
jingles
sing?
leave the jingles to Rob.
Okay.
This is a union show.
I'm sad.
That-
I want to sing.
Go ahead. There's repercussions. You're gonna answer for them.
Oh, all right. Well, what we are giving away is DK Publishing's new 2016 Star Wars Character Encyclopedia. And we want to thank DK Publishing for sponsoring this giveaway. It's really awesome. So all you have to do is head on over to our website, skywalkingthroughneverland.com, and you will see where there's a giveaway blog post, and you can enter it through there. And also on that post is some beautiful pages from that book. Like, it's a really gorgeous book. And it looks like Joey in Tucson already has his, which is exciting. Well, this is just characters. So if you're just interested in characters, which one of the things I really like about this book is that you see the new characters like BB-8 or Kylo Ren right next to some of the older characters that you know and love. So it's fun, the dichotomy of that.
Oh, it's a great, fantastic book.
Yeah.
But be warned, once you start looking at it, you can't stop. You can't. You just want to go through each and every single page.
It's true. Now, to enter this contest, once again, you enter the Rafflecopter things to do. So you can tweet, you can follow us on Twitter. You can also give you the most entries is to review us on iTunes, which is the most important thing to do. If you've already reviewed us, all you have to do is just make sure you know the name of what you reviewed under and just post that where you're supposed to post in the Rafflecopter. So yeah, it's pretty easy to do. And just head on over to skywalkingthroughneverland.com to enter that. Or I will also be sharing on social media. So you'll find the link there as well.
Now, when do they have until?
So they have until, I believe it's May 16th at midnight. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Skywalkers.
May 16th, otherwise known as Attack of the Clones release date.
Exactly.
2002.
That was on the tip of my tongue.
I know it was. All right. Are we ready now to review Captain America Civil War?
I think this is the thing we both want to share.
But now, if you don't want to know anything about the movie, we're not going to give away any big secrets.
No.
But if you don't want to know anything about the movie, fast forward another few minutes.
Right. Or a Periscope, just mute.
Yeah, there's just certain characters, which if you've seen the trailers, you already know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into this now.
Captain, while a great many people see you as a hero, there are some who'd prefer the word vigilante. You've operated with unlimited power and no supervision. That's something the world can no longer tolerate.
I know how much Bucky means to you. Stay out of this one. Please. You'll only make this worse.
You saying you'll arrest me? There will be consequences.
Captain, you seem a little defensive. Well, it's been a long day. If we can't accept limitations, we're no better than bad guys. That's not the way I see it. Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
Now, Captain America Civil War opens this Friday, May the 6th.
Oh.
All right, now, go ahead and read the synopsis for anyone who's unaware of the Captain America Civil War storyline.
Okay. Marvel's Captain America Civil War finds Steve Rogers leading the Avengers into their continued efforts to safeguard humanity. But after another incident results in collateral damage, political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability headed by a governing body to oversee and direct the team. So this new law fractures the Avengers as a team, resulting in two camps. One led by Steve Rogers, Team Cap, Captain America, and his desire to remain free to defend humanity.
Now, the other team is led by Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, and his decision to support the government overseeing the actions of the Super Squad. Now, when I first heard about this storyline, I thought, there's no way Tony Stark would ever go for this. So why? Why is he going to support the government? Well, there's a good reason.
Yes.
There's a good reason, and I want to say that now because I was going into this movie going, is this one of those things you have to kind of get around in order to move forward? But you don't have to get around it because they have really,
a compelling argument for his side.
They really tell you why head on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard not to say anything without saying anything.
I know.
So, but don't. So once again, that's dealt with head on. Now, Sarah, we had this discussion about what team you were on.
Yes.
Now, tell everyone what team you were on and why.
I'm Team Cap. Because he's hot. But also because I'm always siding with the rebels.
And the hot guys.
And, well, yes. The hot guys are always rebels. See, that's how it goes. No, I don't know. So, basically, I'm not that shallow. I do believe that Captain America has a point in that, you know, in order for the Avengers to do what they need to do to defend the whole world, like, there can be no boundaries for them. Like, you know, if they have to wait on, let's say the
red tape.
If they have to wait on red tape to tell them they can go to a certain country, well,
that certain country will fall by the time they get there.
Yeah, exactly. So I side with Team Cap on that issue.
Yeah, so far.
And he's hot.
I don't know anyone who's siding with Team Stark.
Well, there was a few people in the audience that we saw it with, but most people did have their Captain America shirts.
Yeah, they all cheered for Captain America because they don't want any rules or boundaries.
It's true.
And now for Team Stark, Iron Man.
Team Iron Man is what it is.
Yeah.
Team Iron Man.
I know it's all this red tape and democracy, and they have these powers, so they've got to be regulated.
Right.
Now, in each movie we see, that's kind of a lingering thought in my head. They're causing all this damage. Who's going to pay for all this damage? Who's going to be held accountable?
Like New York, the Battle of New York.
Yeah, I never see Tony Stark at the very end. That should be a tag, him with his checkbook going, all right, I'm just going to leave the amount blank. You just fill in whatever you think it is. Then we're fine. But you have Hulk smashing his way through from building to building. That's a lot of insurance there.
Yeah, a lot of money.
So with me, I'm kind of on the fence. I can see the pros and cons of both sides.
Right. Well, one thing this movie did very well was showing you both sides and really getting, like, even me, who was so diehard Team Cap, you know, I really saw the side of Iron Man and was like, oh, interesting. It made me think. It made me stop and think.
Well, they do have a great scene in the beginning of the film that pushes Tony Stark over to the law-abiding side.
Yes.
And once that scene played out, I was like, oh, now we there's a face to this.
Mm-hmm.
Eek. All right, I can see Tony's point of view. Like,
and then there's a similar scene for Cap that really solidies his side, and you're like, oh man, and it tugs at the heartstrings, guys. I had tears, so you'll know it when you see it.
So it really it's not black or white, not at all.
No,
it's gray. It's shades of gray everywhere.
Yeah.
Now this film is just chock full of superheroes.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize how many were in here. I mean, this should be Avengers 3.
It is. It's Avengers 3. So Sarah, look away. Don't look at my notes. How many superheroes do you think were in this film?
I'm saying 10 or 11, honestly.
There's 12.
12?
There's 12.
Okay.
You have Captain America, you have Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, Falcon. You have War Machine, Winter Soldier, Vision.
Yep. And there's newcomers,
You have the newcomers to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Black Panther and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man got the biggest applause of the whole movie.
Oh my gosh. It was so fun.
Yeah, Tom Holland knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Did an amazing job because he looks like someone who could be Peter Parker at the appropriate age, whereas Tobey Maguire looked like he was a 30-year-old in high school. And Andrew Garfield, his hair was just too big to fit under that Spider-Man mask. That's all I kept thinking is how does that hair not get in the way? And where's the hair bump on the mask? But Tom Holland just perfectly played it.
It was great.
Fantastic.
Yay.
And Marissa Tomei, she is the new Aunt May. Now, when I was growing up, Aunt May looked like... Okay, the mom on the Andy Griffith show. The grandmother.
Okay. But now, as Jay Pitty just said, Aunt May is hot now.
Oh, that's why she's called Aunt Hottie.
Yep.
Aunt Hottie for nothing. Aunt B. Aunt B. Thank you.
Okay.
So in the comics, when I was growing up, she looked like Aunt B.
Okay.
Little old grandmother type with white hair. No, she's Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah. Now, this scene does kind of come out of nowhere, the Spider-Man scene, because there's no build-up. All of a sudden, he just appears. His introductory scene appears. And luckily, there is no origin story, because we've seen that to death. Forget the origin stories.
Right.
But it just does come out of nowhere. I wish Tony Stark had mentioned this ahead of time, just as a foreshadow.
Okay.
But other than that, it was perfect.
I didn't mind it.
So I love the Spider-Man. Finally, we have a Spider-Man we can root for.
Yeah.
But the only thing I want to say that kind of irked me, I would give this movie a 9.9 out of 10, just because Spider-Man swears.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, all the Avengers swear, which, guys, come on, this is a movie for kids. But the Spider-Man is just such a kid's, I think he's more of a kid's character than everybody else.
Okay, because he's the youngest, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And they make a joke about that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But when he swore, it just took me out of it, and I went, oh, they didn't have to go there.
Oh, well.
But good news, bad news for Spider-Man. He does have the best line in the whole movie. He makes a reference about it.
I don't even know if we should say what the reference is to. Because I was pleased that I didn't know, and it was a nice surprise. Okay. All right,
well,
so
I'm glad you stopped me.
So don't say it, but you guys will get it.
You'll. It's not hidden at all.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really, really funny. Now, this is the movie that would have made my head explode as a kid with 12 superheroes.
I know, but each one gets kind of their moment. I was really pleased that each one kind of had, you were invested in each of these characters, even the new ones. The introduction of Black Panther and the introduction of Spider-Man both were very fast, but very, very, it got you invested right away.
Right.
And, I mean, Marvel needs to give a class to DC. This is how you do it, guys. This is how you do it.
They don't retread on the older characters that were already set up in the previous movies because we already know who they are. But yeah, a great introduction to Black Panther, who I knew nothing about when going in here. But now,
me either.
It's like, wow, it all makes sense now.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. DC, if you're listening, go sit in on Marvel's class if they have one. Go audit their class.
Go watch Civil War.
Yeah, go work for Marvel. The best review came from my Talking Apes TV co-host when he reviewed this movie. He said, now I don't like Batman versus Superman even more. And I see his point.
Yeah,
they try to do so much what this movie tried to do, what this movie did successfully.
Absolutely.
So go and see Captain America Civil War. Now, this week is the season finale of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is it or is it?
It would have to be this week because.
No, I think there's two more.
Okay, well then this week should lead into Captain America, like they did last season, leading into Age of Ultron.
Yeah, so we're anxious to watch tonight to see if something leads into the movie that we just saw.
They don't bog you down with it's like, oh well, you have to have known this character or have seen these 10 Marvel movies to understand this.
Right.
Everything is very self-explanatory.
Now, I do have a note about Civil War, and that is if you want to really, really enjoy it, just go and look at the names of each of these superheroes, their actual names. Like
the characters or
the character, like Scarlet Witch is Wanda.
Right.
Ant-Man is I'm not remembering his name.
Scott Lang.
Scott Lang, yeah. So go and look at those names and try to memorize them more because they were throwing around a lot of names in this movie, and it was almost like listening to another language. It's like, wait, I have got to translate because Iron Man doesn't call Captain America. He calls him Steve.
But in the comic books, they do call each other by their superhero names, and it's very odd.
Right. So just be aware of that. Like in this film, they'll call each other by their given names, and I got confused a little bit. So that's why I definitely want to see this movie again. I think this movie warrants multiple watchings. Now, 3D.
Skip it. Skip the 3D.
It didn't really need it. It didn't really need it.
I don't think it needed it for any shot in the whole film.
Okay. Maybe some of the shield shots? No?
You know what? Maybe
it looks cool in the credits.
The fighting shot, I thought, oh, that could look good in 3D. Oh, wait a minute. This is 3D.
Yeah.
So, save your extra $15 or whatever a 3D ticket costs and see it in 2D. You'll have a much, much better time.
Yeah.
So there is our review of Captain America Civil War. Once again, comes out this Friday, May the 6th. Now, what team are you on?
Tweet at us at SkywalkingPod. Oh, stay for the credits. Okay, this is one more note. And we just had a Scope Walker ask us, should we stay for the credits? Stay for all the credits.
It's a Marvel movie. Of course, stay for the credits.
Stay through all the credits.
Yeah, and it does preview things to come like they always do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the tag scene with a graphic.
Mm-hmm. You'll see. Guilty.
Yeah.
Oh, Lowry Neal says Team Skywalking.
There you go. Throw that one in the mix.
Thank you.
All right, now there is something else I want to share this week, something more personal for me that's not under the Star Wars or Disney umbrella, and that is I want to share my passion for the greatest rock band of all time, the Monkees.
People say we monkey around.
Yay!
Now, this is their 50th anniversary, so this year is going to be chock full of Monkees. They have a DVD box set coming out of all their remastered TV shows and their movie Head, as well as a new album called Good Times.
A new album?
A new album. We haven't been able to say that since 1996's Just Us.
So is this new album full of new music?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very, very excited about this. Now, they just released a couple of new singles.
Okay.
Just as a little taste. And
I know you were so excited one morning.
I was so excited because when you listen to a new song by your favorite band, or even let's say John Williams, listening to the Force Awakens
new soundtrack
for the first time, it's like, am I going to like this? Is this going to fit in with everything else? I was really worried about these new Monkey songs because their last album, Just Us, had a 90s sound to it, and I was disappointed that it was very very dated. But ironically, these new songs are dated, but back to the 60s.
Yay!
So here's a little excerpt from their first single, She Makes Me Laugh, written by Rivers Cuomo, the frontman to the band Weezer.
I'm so glad that I got her to think of. She's fine as any Valentine. I think about her all the time. Cross my heart and hope to die. She sends me silly messages and pictures, directing traffic in the mall or buzzing with some brand new shoes. She never fails to surprise. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. And I would like to be with her for
All right, so what do you think of this? Does this sound like a song from the 60s? Hey, now that you are very well versed in the Monkees, does this fit in with the Monkees?
Well, definitely. I think it does. And they used a lot of this instrumentation, I think, and that's what really brings it home.
Yeah.
Just listening, yes, the 12-string guitar that was playing really helps bring that home.
Someone just asked if Mike Nesmith was going to be involved. Yes, all 4 Monkees are involved with this album, Good Times. You have Mike Nesmith, Peter Tork, Mickey Dolenz, and Davy Jones. Now, many of you may know that Davy Jones passed away 4 years ago and are saying, what?
Yeah, I was saying what?
How could that be? Well, they're going to be redoing a track that Davy recorded 50 years ago, but they're going to take his lead vocals and they are remixing a song called Love to Love.
Oh.
Yeah, back in 95, the Beatles did the same thing with a John Lennon song called Free as a Bird.
Okay.
Whereas the remaining surviving Beatles did harmonizing, and they're doing the same thing with this song, Love to Love. A great song.
So he recorded his lyrics.
Oh, yeah. almost 50 years ago.
Wow.
And now the rest of the monkeys will now harmonize and update the song, and I'm just so excited about that. It's just so exciting because you can't have a new Monkeys record without all 4 monkeys.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I'm excited.
Oh, I am too. And what it really excites me is that all these really well-known songwriters came to them.
Okay.
Like Rivers Cuomo, who just wrote She Makes Me Laugh. He really wanted to write a monkey song, as did Noel Gallagher, Death Cab for Cuties, Ben Gibbard, Andy Partridge, and Monkeys alumni, Neil Diamond.
Oh, Neil Diamond! Yay!
Harry Nilsson, and Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, which were responsible for Last Train to Clarksville, the Monkeys theme, Words. This album just makes my head.
Your head is exploding.
Yeah. I'm just so chomping at the bit for this new record, and like the Monkeys say in their theme song, they're coming to your town. They're going to be touring for their 50th anniversary, and we're going to see them on September the 16th at the Pantages Theater.
Yay!
So lots of great Monkeys stuff coming up, and this song was released once again last week as just kind of a taste. And going into it, I was scared, like I was saying earlier. But when I heard the first 12-string jingle, I was like, okay, I'm in. I am so in.
So when does this album come out?
If you look on different Monkeys websites, they'll say either May 27th or June 10th.
Oh, okay.
So I think some outlets are having their special edition with another track or two. I know FYE, that chain, has an additional Monkey song. So I think maybe their release is coming out a little bit later.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And if you get a ticket to their concert, you get a free download
of the whole album?
Of their whole album, Good Times.
Goodness. So did we get 2 downloads then?
Well, then we got to get 2 tickets in different purchases.
Oh, okay. So with one purchase, you get a download.
Yeah.
Well, that works. I think that's awesome.
Oh, big time. And just yesterday, they had dropped. I don't want to say that. I want to say released. I just can't say dropped. They released another song, which I am gunning for this song to be the song of the summer 2016.
Okay.
Check this out.
I'll bring the chips and the dips and root beer, even though dark purple rain clouds are near. When you come around, you bring the summer. I'll lay the basket and blanket out neat, even though weathermen say there'll be sleet. When you come around, you bring the summer.
Is that not the song of summer 2016? I'm so excited about that one. That one is written by Andy Partridge of the punk group Ecstasy.
Oh.
Now, I thought Ecstasy was a female soul group of the 80s. I thought that's going to be unusual. But no, wrong band. I think that's X something, I don't know. But I love that song. I love that. This one here took me a couple of times to listen to before realizing, okay, that's a fun song.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, You Bring the Summer.
Okay.
Didn't have as much of a monkey sound as She Makes Me Laugh, but now that I heard it a couple of times now, it's like, I just makes you into a better mood.
Now that's Mickey singing, right?
That's Mickey singing, yeah.
I always love his voice.
Yeah.
So it's just so calming.
For me as a Monkeys fan, the beautiful thing is when I hear these songs, my head thinks about all the fun monkey video romps they did in their TV show where they're all running around and jumping over fountains and driving down Ventura Boulevard in their monkey mobile. Those images pop in my head.
Aww.
Whereas maybe some of their other songs didn't. This song here just brings forth all the nostalgic monkey sounds. So now, if you want to hear more information about all new Monkeys stuff coming up, go to monkeys.com and they will have tour dates. They'll have purchasing information for their new DVD box set. And there's another great Monkeys podcast called Zilch, a Monkeys podcast. It's a very well done show to hear the latest and greatest of Monkeys news. So now, go and monkey around.
Yay.
Now, for more information on the Monkeys, you've got to go and listen to Zilch, a Monkeys podcast. This is a podcast I found about a month and a half ago, and I've been addicted, not only because I'm a huge Monkees fan, but this is a very well-produced show, and I love it, and I love those guys over there. So go to Zilch, a Monkees podcast, and monkees.com for tour dates and ordering information on their DVDs and their upcoming Good Times album and merchandise. Love the merchandise. So now, everyone, go monkey around.
Aw.
All right. So with that, let's say goodbye to our
Scope walkers.
Scope walkers.
Yes.
So, guys, thank you for indulging me in my monkey passion. But this excited me so much, I just wanted to share it.
Aw. And
Skywalker Clarksville.
Skywalker through Clarksville. We like that. Yay.
Cantina.
In the tiki cantina, in the tiki cantina.
The Woloski's talk and the magic blue.
In the tiki cantina.
Tiki cantina.
Who needs holidays created a zillion years ago when we can invent our own?
That's right. Yeah. We have always made up our own holidays to celebrate, like May the 4th, the opening of Disneyland, or even Life Day.
Now, we asked you Skywalkers, if you could make up your own Star Wars or Disney holiday, what would it be? What time of year would it happen? How would you celebrate? What would you eat? And what would be your mandatory viewing? Every holiday, you gotta watch something. The holiday special on Life Day,
Right.
November 17th.
Or like on Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we always have to watch Love Actually.
You see, that's what I mean. There's mandatory
And
viewing
It's a
around
Wonderful
every
Life.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas Story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. You guys get the picture.
Yeah, just like every Halloween, we have to put in the Monkees Halloween episode, which has the monsters in it, right? Dracula,
I love the way you're tying this all
Elvira.
in.
I know, it's fun. It's fun.
That's my sweetie.
That's right. So we posed this question on our STN Facebook group page, and we got lots of responses because you guys are very creative. So yay! I think we're going to share all of these fan-made holidays right here, and we'll let you Skywalkers choose your favorites as you tweet at us at SkywalkingPod.
There's so many to choose from, and I love the fact that when you pose this kind of question to hardcore fans, they're on it. It's like, definitely.
And their kids are on it too.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
All right, let's start it off with one of mine.
Okay.
Now, I love the idea of having a Luke Skywalker Day. Now, this is a day where you're heroic, you're selfless, you do something for other people. You
Ooh.
put someone else first ahead of your own needs.
Okay.
Whether you help in a charity, you put yourself out there helping. There's the Big Brother foundations and Big Sisters foundations, and help an animal shelter.
Aww.
That is like Luke Skywalker Day.
Okay.
And that's the kind of holiday I want to see.
What would you eat?
You would eat scrambled eggs, root leaf, and you would drink blue milk.
Okay.
Those are the only foods we ever saw Luke
Very
Skywalker
nice.
eat.
All right. And what would you wear?
That's a good question. You would either wear the Luke Skywalker white tunic he wore in A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
You could wear the Bespin fatigues. That's my personal favorite. You could wear the black Jedi outfit or the Force Awakens white Jedi outfit. That pretty much covers the gamut.
Nice. And what would be your number? I mean, your hashtag.
What would be my hashtag? My hashtag would be hashtag put others first Luke Skywalker Day.
Wow. So that's a long hashtag. How about 2 hashtags?
2 hashtags. Luke Skywalker Day.
Right.
And hashtag
put others first.
Put others first.
Okay. I like it.
And you're asking me when that holiday would take place?
Oh, yes, I am.
Go ahead.
When would that holiday take place?
I want to say, now this stirs up a bigger controversy, and that is the day of the official Star Wars Day.
Okay.
Because the official Star Wars Day could be May 4th, May 25th. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But I want to roll this holiday into one of those days. So I want to say May the 4th.
Okay.
It just calls. It calls to that date. So I'm gonna say, but then again, I don't want this to be overshadowed by the other May the 4th traditions. So I don't know. We know what we could say. We could say September 25th, which is Mark Hamill's birthday.
Yeah.
So Skywalkers, I'm stuck on this one. When should Luke Skywalker Day take place?
Okay. Tweet at us at SkywalkingPod.
So that's the holiday I would want to see. Now, how about you?
All right, for me, if I had to come up with a holiday, it would be Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Day.
That's going to be so hard to fit on a Hallmark card.
You know what, though? You can only celebrate it if you can say it.
I'm out.
Hey, no, you're not. Well, do you want to know what we do?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so our food...
We go to phonetic class?
Our food would be... Well, okay, so our main activity for the day... Basically, you're celebrating Mary Poppins, all right? So your main activity of the day would be an unbirthday tea party on the ceiling.
Okay, right now I can see a lot of insurance headaches.
So obviously your food for that day you're celebrating would be tea and scones.
Okay.
Okay. And your decor would be all the traditional kind of turn of the century of the 20th century. Turn of the 20th century decor. So that Victorian era decor.
Sure.
You know?
I'm with you.
All right. And what you would wear is, it would kind of be like Dapper Day. You know, at Disneyland, everyone's all dressed up, but it's Dapper Day with something amiss. So if you remember, Mr. Banks goes to the bank, and when he's fired at 9 p.m., you know, they punch his bowler hat up. You know, so it's messed up, and they take off some petals of his flower.
So rude.
And they like undo his bow. I don't know. They do something with his bow tie, his necktie, something there.
They give him a wet willy, pull his underwear up, give him a wedgie.
Oh yeah, and then his umbrella. You know, they
reverse it.
Reverse it, dude.
Come on, grow up.
Oh, I was always so confused by that as a kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, so that's your dress. You have to be dapper with something amiss.
Okay.
And your activity, of course, is your tea party, but you would also, if you want to, participate in chalk pavement drawings, and you'd obviously have to ride a merry-go-round.
Okay. Now, what kind of music would you listen to? Of course, the obvious answer is the Mary Poppins soundtrack, but let's say if you want to take it one step further, want to be in universe with Mary Poppins, what would Mary Poppins listen to on this holiday?
We have to take into account the time. That's a very good question. But whatever she'd listen to on I want to say a Miniola. What the big fan thing.
The record player with the big horn coming out of it?
Yeah, with the big horn. I forget what that's called.
The RCA Vitrola?
Something like, it's like Miniola, Vitrola.
Vitrola.
Okay, Vitrola?
Yes.
So yes, they'd have to listen to something on that.
Wow.
So anything it has to be a record.
Okay.
I know.
That's a good thing records are coming back.
I know. So there you go. That's my day. The
right, hold up. When would this take place? And don't say May 4th.
Oh, well, I'm going to say August 27th, which was the release of Mary Poppins back in 1964.
All right. That's a very well thought out holiday.
I thought so.
Very well thought out. All right. I like that. Now let's get into what the Skywalkers had to say.
Okay. Well, jumping off on one of your days, wasn't Life Day your idea?
Yeah. Life Day is one of those. I think,
it's kind of
is that like the very first pop culture holidays created by fans?
I think so. So obviously it's not your idea, but you had written this down in here.
Right. And that was on the graphic that you had made to promote this. You had Mickey and Minnie at a cake, and with the Wookiees and the red Snugglies right behind them.
Right.
So Life Day, of course, which would need to be held on November 17th.
Okay.
That's when the Star Wars Holiday Special aired. You have to get dressed in your best red Snuggly.
Oh, red Snuggie?
Red Snuggie, yes.
Okay. Yes.
Well, Snuggie is copyrighted. Snuggly. That's what I'm coining the red Wookiee robes.
Is it just because you can't say Snuggie?
You know what? You're right. I can't say Snuggie. What is wrong with me? I can't say Snuggie.
Snuggie.
I can't say Snuggie.
No, you can't.
No,
Sounds funny.
Snuggie? Yeah. I can only say Snuggly. I can't say Snuggie.
Okay. Well, should we say that James Floyd, one of our Skywalkers, popped in to give some ideas about Life Day?
Okay.
So he said that we would have to watch, of course, the Star Wars Holiday Special and sing along.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony.
And find some Life Day foods. Well, what would be some Life Day foods?
Well, then you would need to turn to Gourmanda, the chef.
Okay.
And she cooked bantha meat.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
This is the character played by Harvey Korman. And she had a cooking show, which was a Julia Child
right
parody.
Yeah.
And guess what we're ready for now? The cooking. Step 1, we stir the mixture. Very nice. Now, step 2, while we're stirring, we also whip. So it's stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, stir. Now, let's try it again together at an increased tempo, because precision is very important in this recipe, and we do want to have a fine consistency, don't we? So, and on the count of 1.
And she was cooking bantha meat, so we would have to eat bantha meat.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we would have to watch some erotic hologram projections.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah.
Which we can almost do now. VR is coming into the mainstream.
True. All right, so that's check and mate.
Life Day. There you go. So far we have Luke Skywalker Day. We have Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Day. And we have Life Day.
Now, one of the other top contenders everyone was really gunning for was Star Wars Day.
Mm-hmm.
Is it May the 4th? Is it May the 25th, which is when Star Wars premiered in 1977, and then Return of the Jedi in 1983, both on May 25th? When is Star Wars Day? I would want to say that May the 4th is more of the Force Day.
Okay.
And May 25th is Star Wars Day. Now, growing up, knowing that May 25th is Star Wars Day, because that's when it was released, that's what I've been accustomed to. But now, Sarah, what do you think? When should Star Wars Day be?
I think it should be Star Wars month. May.
So you're sitting on the fence just like Team Cap and Team Iron Man.
I'm saying it should be Star Wars month.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, if there could be Black History Month, there's what are some other there's like whole months of things. So there you go. Star Wars month.
That's pretty much every month.
I know.
Skywalker, what do you think?
Although now, since Star Wars is being released in December, now
Yeah.
Christmas is pretty much Star Wars.
That's why I say it's every month of the year.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to go on record by saying May 25th is my Star Wars Day. If they want to throw in another Star Wars Day like May the 4th, okay, I'm there.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it is? Since you are of the first generation Skywalker, May 25th is a little bit more sacred to you, whereas some of us who weren't alive for these release dates or weren't, cognizant for these release dates, May the 4th seems more like Star Wars Day to us because the whole world kind of celebrates now, and it's such a fun hashtag.
Skywalkers, should we settle this in diplomacy? What do you think? All right, let's move right along to number 4.
Yes. Okay. So this one I was especially fond of. Now, this holiday was presented by Rebecca Whitebrock. That is Mrs. Reb W on Twitter. And Rebecca said she really wants to see Rapunzel's Festival of Floating Lights, which is actually a real Thailand holiday during the full moon of November, is what she says.
I looked it up right there. This is a little bit of the background of this holiday in Thailand.
Okay, so it's not actually called Rapunzel's Festival of Floating Lights?
No, Disney would put a stop to that.
Okay, so should I read this part here?
Yes.
All right. Each year, thousands of paper lanterns are released into the night sky to symbolically ward off bad luck, while rivers are covered by floating flower lanterns adorned with candles and joss sticks cast into waterways to wish for good luck. Aww.
I think that's joysticks.
Oh my goodness. How beautiful. You know, I remember seeing some of the special features of Tangled, and they went and visited this holiday just to see what these floating lanterns looked like. And, you know, the animators. And they said it was just gorgeous. And can we go?
Sure, we can.
I want to go.
Sure.
I want to see.
You know what? Skywalking through Thailand. Road trip.
Skywalking through floating lights.
Road trip.
Oh, well, thank you, Rebecca, for bringing this up. So it would be in November. Let's see. But you know what we would eat? We would have to eat parsnip soup. Or what is it called? Hazelnut soup. We'd have to eat that.
Well, first we have to make a detour over to the Snuggly Duckling.
Okay.
That's the name of the new restaurant at
Yes.
Shanghai Disneyland.
Oh, yes. Well, I don't know if it's the new name of the restaurant, but it's definitely based on that. Yes. Snuggly Duckling.
Oh, they didn't make it a new restaurant? They
did.
For...
They did make a new restaurant themed to Tangled. I think it's called Snuggly Duckling. It would make sense. Yeah. Okay.
It's called Joe's Bar and Grill. Someone just wasn't thinking
well,
that
you
day.
know, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar is not called Indiana Jones
Touche.
restaurant.
You know what? Let's not go back there.
Okay.
Literally.
What would we wear?
We would have to wear thug clothing.
No, but all the girls would wear Rapunzel dresses.
They can wear thug clothing too.
And you know what we would do though? Our hair, you'd French braid it and put bunches of flowers in our hair.
And the guys would just dress like Flynn Rider and leave a little stubble on their chin. But then Rebecca's daughter, Jenna, she chimed in here.
Yeah. So Jenna had some fun ideas, including that we should celebrate Cinderella's ball on, get this, December 1st.
December 1st, 12
midnight.
1. There you go.
That's
1
so
minute
cute.
past midnight.
I love it. Yes. So on this date, we should hold balls and dress up in Cinderella's honor.
And dress like Flynn Rider.
Oh, no. I think that's cute. I love it.
That's very, very cute.
Now, moving on, we had a couple Skywalkers kind of have the same ideas. So we wanted to give a shout out to both of them. So Georgia Peach posted that we should have Alderaan Memorial Day. And she says it should be like regular Memorial Day, but, you know, all ships hover that airspace without landing. We all wear dark colors. We all buy Leia a sympathy card. And then Rick Peralta on another post had the same idea. He said we should have Alderaan Remembrance Day. And his ideas kind of dovetailed with hers. And he said Alderaan was a cold place, so he figures it'll be kind of a Christmassy atmosphere, and it should be a winter holiday.
Let's hold it the week of December 18th. Because there's nothing else going on these next few years.
No.
Going on that week.
No, nothing.
All right, Rick. Done and done.
Rick and Georgia, thank you very much.
Rick, get you and your group liningup.net to put together a group for lining up for this holiday.
Yeah, we should all wear black armbands. Alderaan Remembrance Day.
Because I don't think you'll be lining up for anything else that week.
All right. Well, that was fun. Now we have a fun idea presented by Bryn McKinnon.
Yeah, she's got a couple of really great ideas. But let's dive into this one first. It's Ewok Fierceness Awareness Day. Held, oddly enough, on February the 3rd.
She gives no reason for this.
But doing a little digging into my mental Rolodex,
okay,
I'm going to say that's Warwick Davis's birthday.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Wow.
What would you eat on Ewok Fierceness Awareness Day?
That's hard to say. First of all, you would...
eat a smuggler.
Eat a smuggler?
Mm-hmm.
How about spit roasted rebels?
Same thing.
That's what Bryn says. I like it. She also says activity. What we should do is droid storytelling and clotheslining your enemies. Wow.
Bryn's got a dark side.
I think so. Wow. Now, what is our holiday decor?
Well, as she goes on to explain, trees and drapey leather pieces.
There you go. Sure thing. And your holiday greeting.
Yub nub. Eat ya a yub nub.
Yes. And like-minded Skywalkers here, Georgia Peach chimed in. She had an idea for an Ewok fun run to be held on this day. So that would be fun. It's a joyful romp around the forest to raise money for awareness. So you get to celebrate Ewok fierceness, but you can also raise money.
What kind of awareness?
For the awareness of Ewok fierceness.
I want to say clean up Endor awareness.
Oh.
After all that debris fell out from the Death Star.
Yeah.
That forest moon is going to be just a big junkyard. It's going to be like a junk planet like Jakku.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Now we got to raise money to get that forest moon cleaned up.
Okay. I like it.
Call Rey. She would have Rey and the Jawas would have a field day. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, all the scavengers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can see that.
Raise money to move the scavengers from Jakku to...
And Tatooine.
To Endor.
Yeah.
And to clean up.
And it pretty much takes care of itself from there.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
Nice. Nice.
Cool.
Now, Eric Warren, he also weighed in here, and he wants Rebellion Day.
Okay.
Now, this is a celebration of the destruction of the second Death Star. Hey, we were just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And the death of Emperor Palpatine, despite the ISB's best efforts to downplay the victory.
Oh.
Okay. Percussive music courtesy of available discarded helmets.
So that would be the activity of Rebellion Day. So would this all kind of join together into one crazy holiday?
You know what? It could be. Kind of like May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th
Okay.
are back to back.
So we could call it like Ewok Rebellion Day, because fierceness awareness is really hard to say.
Yeah, sorry, Bryn. Okay. We're just going to say Rebellion Day is the overall umbrella.
All right.
And this would counter Empire Day. The day that Ezra Bridger was born.
Right.
The day the Empire took an effect.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, we gotta balance out the holidays.
Okay, so we have, was that about 7 good holidays right there?
All right, but you know what? I'm kind of stuck on what you would wear.
Oh, for Rebellion
For
Day?
Rebellion Day.
I'm seeing the Rebels helmets, those funky ones that you see in A New Hope that are, the
now
long
Rogue One?
backs. Yeah, and Rogue One. For some reason that popped in my head, but I know, well, maybe we should just all wear the camouflage, like outfits.
See, I'm seeing orange jumpsuits.
Ah.
Like the guys on the side of the freeway wear when they're cleaning up the freeways.
Well, if you are on Endor, it might be more fun to wear the camouflage.
But then you couldn't see anyone else. You'd be bumping into everyone.
You know what? You could play a game of, I'm just getting this. Everyone wears camouflage, and you could play a game of dodgeball, but you couldn't see people, so it'd be really funny to see, how would you blend in or not.
When Rey and the Jawas are taking breaks from cleaning up?
Yes.
Or scavenging?
Oh,
they could play Endor dodgeball?
Yes.
Okay. And the ball would be a stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
All right. We can go places with this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brian Sims, he also had a very good one. He had Thank the Maker Day to be held on May 14th, which is the birth date of the maker himself, George Lucas.
Another reason why May should just be the month of Star Wars. Come on.
Very true. 6 out of 7 movies were all released in May. You have George Lucas, you have Peter Mayhew, born on May 19th. It's just Peter Cushing.
So Brian Sims goes on to say that this day would be celebrating all that George Lucas has given us, everything from Electronic Labyrinth, THX 1138, 4EB.
Yeah, that's the USC student film that turned into the feature THX 1138.
Gotcha.
They just dropped the 4EB.
Yes, okay. And then also celebrating up to Strange Magic and hopefully more. And, so the whole event would be topped off by a gathering in the city of Modesto for an outdoor festival.
That's where he was born.
Right.
Northern California.
So think Woodstock or Burning Man. Oh, fun.
That'd be really, really fun. And what would you wear?
You would have to wear plaid shirts.
the red flannel shirts.
Yep.
And blue jeans.
Yep.
And sneakers.
Yep.
Not tennis shoes, but sneakers.
Men need to grow beards. There you go.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, and
you know what we would eat? Roasted marshmallows.
And hamburgers.
Okay.
Going back to the Hamburger Hamlet days where he would be mixing the foreign dubs for Star Wars in Hollywood, go downstairs to Hamburger Hamlet, which is now a Hooters, and watch people walking in and out of the Chinese theater seeing Star Wars.
Awesome.
However, if he was doing that now, well, Hopefully he wouldn't be at Hooters. Or, maybe he does. You know what? I'm not here to judge. But what would he be looking at? People walking in and out of? I have a hard time with this one. The TCL Chinese Grauman's Man Theater Deluxe caffeine free.
TCL Chinese Theater IMAX.
That's the one.
Yes.
That's the one.
Nice. Well, thank you, Brian Sims. That was a good idea.
Yeah. And on your hamburger, you would need to put an olive right where the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon would be.
Oh, yeah.
The story goes that when someone was asking him what the Millennium Falcon looks like, got a hamburger, took a big bite out of it, put an olive on the side. There's your Millennium Falcon. Now, let's go make a movie. All right. Jay Petty.
That's right.
Joey Pittman. He also weighed in here. And he says, being a lifelong Disney and Star Wars fan, I do celebrate the acquisition of Lucasfilm to Disney on October 30th.
Nice. So he would listen to Disney and Star Wars music. And since he was in New Orleans when the news broke, he also enjoys a few adult beverages. Nice.
Okay.
So, sounds like this is a holiday he's already celebrating. I think we should join him.
Yeah, we should.
You know what? We should Periscope.
That's a great holiday. So, Joey, that's a special shout out to you for that holiday. Now, you know what? Should we do a tangent giveaway? The first person to tell us where Sarah and I were when the news broke, so we mentioned it
on multiple podcasts.
Multiple shows now, even on other people's podcasts.
Yep.
If you can tell us where we were specifically, there's an extra prize bag coming your way.
Oh, okay.
All right. So today is May the 3rd. Should we give them
a week and a half?
Until Thank the Maker Day on May the 14th.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, make a note of that because I know I'll forget.
Okay.
So where were we? Where were Sarah and I when the news broke? And it could be
on October
30th, 2012. There's a huge prize bin right over here with your name on it. All right, and it's all sponsored by Joey Pittman.
Now wait a minute.
Shh, move on.
Okay. All right, and now we have Trisha Barr weighing in on her holiday, and her holiday has a fun twist. It's Super Weapon Goes Boom Day. Now, she also likes the date of May 25th. So on May 25th every year, celebrate the end of tyranny, the candle lit in the name of democracy, or at least fandom entitlement.
Woohoo!
So fireworks are a must, timed with the end of A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, The Phantom Menace, or The Force Awakens. Ewoks should be hugged, but not at the exclusion of Wookiees and Gungans, who like warm hugs too.
If we're talking about The Force Awakens, should that Super Weapon Goes Boom Day be held on December 18th?
She says May 25th.
All right, well, you know what? Trisha is in charge of her own holiday, so
yes.
May 25th is going to be a day of celebrating.
Yeah. The Phantom Menace didn't have a Death Star.
No, but it had the droid-controlled circular ship.
All right.
With the
I've never considered that.
Oh, it's a super
Death
weapon.
Star-like, I guess.
Well, it's not a space station, but it was the hub of all that controlled the battle droids.
Right.
So you knock out that ship that controls all the droid armies.
Right.
And you're golden.
Okay.
So I can see where she's going with that.
Very nice. I like the name of it, especially.
You know, I kind of like a spin-off holiday on this. Hug an Ewok Day.
Oh.
Or Hug a Wookiee Day, and you can go to Disneyland and just hug Chewie all day.
Sounds good.
I wish they had a Gungan there. I want to hug a Gungan.
Oh.
So if you do want to hug a Wookiee, just make a trip to Disneyland or Disney World.
Or have someone dressed as a Wookiee. There you go.
Or that. Yeah, go down to Hollywood Boulevard. No, don't hug that Wookiee.
Oh.
Now, our good friend Anthony Fox of the Mousepire podcast, he writes, you know what? You go ahead and take this one.
All right. Well, Anthony Fox says, how about John Williams' birthday on February 8th? He says that's a real Star Wars day to him because, we should watch movies heavy with John Williams music, of course. And there should be concert tributes, commemorative merchandise. I love how he brings that up. No one else brought up merchandise for these other days, but Anthony Fox did. He's always at Disneyland taking pictures of the Star Trader, and we thank him for that.
Yeah, they could have those conductor ones.
Oh yeah.
That light up.
Yeah, you could have those. What would we eat?
We would eat.
You could also eat the pretzel lightsabers, or
okay.
I think of Harry Potter when I think of John Williams as well. Jurassic Park. Gosh, superheroes. Superman.
So it's pretty much eat whatever you want.
Yes. Yes.
But you do have to get dressed up in a tux.
Oh.
For girls
well,
too.
No. John Williams always wears a black turtleneck.
Right.
And like jeans.
When he's conducting, yes,
Right.
but in concert, he's always wearing a nice tux.
Yeah, but I like his conducting outfit.
I want to wear a tux, okay?
Okay, you wear a tux, I'll wear a black turtleneck.
Okay. Fair enough.
I like it, Anthony Fox. Thank you.
All right, you know what? Let's circle back to Bryn McKinnon, who had just an influx of ideas.
Yes. One of her ideas, Hoojib Days. So this would be the entire week after Easter, during which you thread live wires through all your Easter candy and then munch with your friends until you can't take the zaps anymore. Then you eat pancakes.
Bryn has got a dark side I never knew until now.
I think that's awesome.
I think this is a cry for help.
Bryn, did you come up with that, or did your kids come up with that?
Say your kids. Be on the safe side.
Or did Jeff Long come up with that and you're just taking credit?
Jeff Long Day would be, I win everything.
Yep.
I get everything for free. Do you wonder why she's saying thread live wires through all your Easter candy?
Well,
I'm testing your Hoojib knowledge.
Oh, yes. Well, Hoojibs are from the Marvel Star Wars comics, the original series.
Right.
And the little Hoojibs, they like run on electricity, basically. Like they eat electricity.
Right.
Did I get a check mark?
Yes, you do.
Do I get a gold star?
Yes, you do.
Do I get pancakes?
And the one who can eat the most candy is crowned Pliff.
Nice.
Okay. That is if you can survive it. All right. Now she had another idea.
The Ides of Rey. So like the Ides of March, I suppose. On the 13th or 15th of every month, wow, you celebrate by making and eating individual portions of instant green bread puffs by yourself. You have to scrub grungy pieces of metal with your toothbrush and put your X-Wing helmet by the foot of your bed in the hopes that Unkar Plutt will deposit 60 portions in it overnight. But he won't take your droid. That's so cute.
So is Unkar Plutt like the new Tooth Fairy?
He's the portion fairy.
He's the Oh.
Hashtag portion fairy.
There you go.
Hashtag Unkar Plutt. Awesome. We love it, Bryn. Thank you.
But now, what is Unkar Plutt taking?
No, he's depositing 60 portions. So, Santa Claus comes around and gives you presents under your tree.
Yeah, but the Tooth Fairy.
Right.
She's got to take one, leave one.
Well,
she takes your tooth.
Well,
that's
Santa,
hopefully
Santa
not still in your head.
Santa doesn't take anything.
No, but you got to be good all year round.
Yeah,
to
you
get
have to
something.
eat the cookies.
But for what would bring Unkar Plutt to your bedroom, you got to leave him spare droid parts.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to
spare
leave
droid
a
parts.
few parts in there.
Okay,
yeah.
So Bryn, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
And every year, you'd go to the Cerritos Mall and you sit on Unkar Plutt's lap.
Oh my God, no.
And tell him what kind of droid parts you're gonna leave for him.
Okay, Richard, I'm going to cut you off now. I'm going to cut you off and ask our Skywalkers, which of these days do you like the best?
And he would say, that droid part is mine!
All right. You've gone off the rails.
Whoa.
You've gone off the rails. Now, I want to see, Skywalkers, which day you like the best, all right? So, we have Luke Skywalker Day. We have Life Day. We have Star Wars Month. We have Rapunzel's Festival of Floating Lights.
But going back to Star Wars Month, what do you Skywalkers think is the official Star Wars Day? May the 4th or May 25th?
Right. And then we have Alderaan Memorial Day. We have Ewok Fierceness Awareness Day / what do we call it?
/ Rebellion Day.
Oh, yes. Ewok Rebellion Day.
That's a Bryn McKinnon, Eric Warren mashup.
Mm-hmm. And we have Thank the Maker Day.
And I loved it when those two teamed up and wrote the soundtrack to Dirty Dancing.
And then we have the acquisition of Lucasfilm to Disney. I'm not sure what to call that day.
Star Wars
Disney
Acquisition Day?
Star Wars Disney Day?
Sure.
All right. We have Super Weapon Goes Boom Day, John Williams' birthday, Who Jib Days, and the Ides of Rey. So let us know what you like best. Gosh.
But the question still remains, what is Star Wars Day? Is it May the 4th or is it May the 25th? Sarah, what do you hold on. Hello?
Hey, Rich. Hey, Sarah. Hey, this is Alan Sanborn, and I want to weigh in on this question about, what is Star Wars Day?
Wait.
Alan?
How did you know we were talking about that right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was actually, one of your scope watchers this morning, and I was, checking out, the video, and, well, you guys, I guess you never turned it off, so I've just been watching all day.
Alan, you've been watching us record all day long?
Yeah. Well, on and off, but yeah.
Wow.
Checking in, see what you're up to.
Oh, well, you know what? Since you are Mr. Halloween, Mr. Holiday yourself, I guess this comes at a good time. So while we have you on the line, why don't we ask you, what do you think is the true Star Wars Day? Is it May the 4th or is it May 25th?
Well, I'll say this. I think the more Star Wars days you got, the better, so that's a good thing. And the fact that we have a day now that is completely derived from a pun is fun. But, for those of us who were around on May 25th, 1977, when this whole ball of wax got rolling, we've always had a Star Wars Day, and it was, Star Wars birthday, really. Every year, May 25th, we've always celebrated, and so it was a little strange to suddenly have the public embracing Star Wars Day on May the 4th. But, as far as I'm concerned, they're both valid. Why not? The more the merrier. And actually, I used to make a distinction myself that May 25th is Star Wars birthday, but I always used to call Wednesday before Memorial Day Star Wars Day because originally that was when Star Wars movies opened. Of course, that all got screwed up with the prequel, so, but in the original days, it was always the Wednesday before Memorial Day.
So I think the general consensus here is that May is Star Wars month.
Yes, and of course, there was no debating that until last December.
Until the new prequels, or the new movies screwed it up.
Yeah, so let's just have 2 Star Wars days.
And Star Wars month.
Star Wars month.
Yeah, I think maybe in December now, December 18th should be Star Wars Rejuvenation Day or something.
Now, since you are well-versed in holiday customs, if you were to come up with a holiday and Hallmark said, you know what, this one's going to stick. Alan, you write whatever you want, and we're going to make it happen. What would that holiday be?
Well, I think that we could probably. I've been thinking about all these other holidays, what they could have done with specials. Like I thought maybe we could do like a spring break in Naboo special, and then there could be like a Naboo egg day when the egg day Gungan would come around with his wild flapping ears and deliver brisky morning munchins in a basket to all the young people of Naboo. So we could do something along those lines. But you'd have St. Patrick's Day. They could have St. Guido's Day special, with all the green aliens and him being green, and perhaps he drove the space snakes out of Rodeo, or wherever the planet he comes from, and they are out into the asteroids where they prey on the poor hapless space pirates who happen to wander into their holes once in a while, that sort of thing.
That's some creativity there. I like it.
But I thought maybe instead of Halloween in the galaxy far, far away, they'd celebrate Jawoween, and of course all the Jawas wear masks on that day too, so you can't tell them apart if you normally can so easily. Or you could go trick or treating as Imperials, and everyone, of course, would have to guess whether it was actually trick or treaters at the door or in fact Imperials who would come to the door to kill them all or take them all or something like that.
So aren't they a little short for a stormtrooper?
Yeah, that would probably be a common line, I would imagine.
Where the possibilities are endless.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Alan, well, thank you very much for your input on those Star Wars-themed holidays, and I guess we got to press the stop broadcast button because we have to get to bed really soon, and yeah, you don't need to be watching us go to sleep. All right, Alan. Well, thanks.
All right. I guess I should do that myself.
Okay.
Well, you have a good night and happy Halloween, and may the 4th be with you.
Thank you. You too.
I can't believe Alan's been watching us the whole day.
I know. I'm not sure about this. I guess I really need to hit that stop broadcast button. Oops.
Well, thanks to Alan, and thanks to everyone else who weighed in on their fan-made holidays.
Yeah, this ended up being a really fun discussion, and we couldn't have done it without you Skywalkers. So thank you so much. And the fact that I had posted this post in our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group, actually. So now remember, Skywalkers, if you've not joined this yet and you want to kind of meet more Skywalkers and interact with everyone who listens to the show and us as well, please go find us if you search Skywalking Through Neverland group on Facebook. You will find that, and you can request to be added.
Now, our big Star Wars Day will be the 28th and 29th.
Right, that's Memorial Day weekend.
That's Memorial Day weekend, and the weekend of our next Skywalking Through Neverland meetup, which will be May 29th. So that'll be Star Wars Day.
Yeah, at the Rancho Cucamonga Library. Now, we have an event set up on Facebook as well, so just check out our events on our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook page.
And we'll be doing a live podcast that day, a live podcast to tape. That means
tape?
Yeah. Like when you hear about a TV show live on tape, that just means they went from beginning to end without stopping.
Well, hopefully we'll have someone periscoping.
Very, very true.
Yay.
Very true.
Well, we'll make sure to set that up.
So we'll be doing games. We'll be giving away prizes, like what we did with our Skywalking Through Neverland
interactive
adventure.
Fandom adventure.
Yes.
Live interactive fandom adventure.
At Celebration Anaheim. It'll be a lot like that, but different because it's a year and a half later. All right, so Skywalkers, we will see you there. Now, before we get into our shout-outs and our Skywalker of the Week, let's see what was found in Skywalking on TV.
So many references to Star Wars and Disney on TV shows from sitcoms to reality. Skywalking on TV. Skywalking on TV.
Sarah, last week you had called me and said, Rich, get home quickly. The funniest thing just happened on Supergirl.
Yes, I was sitting on the couch all by myself, catching up on my Supergirl, and all of a sudden Callista Flockhart, who plays Cat Grant, walks in and says this line. Now, Star Wars fans, you all can get the inside joke here.
Kira, call Harrison Ford and tell him that I'm flattered, but once and for all, I do not date older men, especially when they're married.
Honestly, it did take me about 4.5 seconds.
What?
To put all the pieces together. I have a hard time picturing Callista Flockhart and Harrison Ford together.
I know.
Even though we saw them at the Force Awakens red carpet premiere.
And we've seen their Halloween costumes.
Yeah, but my consciousness just can't put those two together as a married couple.
Well, it's just funny because Callista Flockhart here is playing a totally different person, Cat Grant, but, Harrison Ford is married to her, but not her.
Oh, I believe
it.
It's
funny.
It's a great, funny inside joke.
I just busted up on the couch laughing, and usually when I'm home alone and watching something funny, I don't really laugh out loud, So this I laughed out loud.
Plus her line reading is just so dry.
Yeah.
she doesn't telegraph the joke.
No.
Which was great. I think she's the best part of the show, and I just got lost in what was going on. Instead of what the actual line was.
Right.
So good catch there.
Yes.
Now, something that I want to mention is a post on our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook page by my old best friend, Jim Pruitt. Now, Jim and I used to play Star Wars day and night when we were kids. And he just posted something that really hit a nostalgic nerve for me. Check this out.
Midnight. Time for a complete breakfast with my Count Chocula.
You can't count. It's time for my strawberry-flavored Frankenberry. Cuckoo.
Star Wars stickers! They're here! Wow, I've got the spaceship.
A collection of Star Wars stickers. One in specially marked boxes of these monster cereals.
Star Wars stickers!
When you see a toy you had when you were a kid and smells just come right back to you, and memories and all these feelings.
It's kind of like Harry Potter when you touch an object and all of a sudden the senses come.
This is like a Harry Potter experience, but yet Star Wars. And as soon as I saw this commercial that Jim had posted, the smell of Count Chocula just permeated the air.
Oh, I see.
I remember watching this commercial when I was a kid, and because I knew at the end was going to be the promo for the Star Wars stickers you could get inside of Count Chocula and all the monster cereals. In fact, right now, I can even smell those monster cereals and the smell on the stickers. Even years and years later, each one of those stickers still smelled like Boo Berry or Frankenberry or Count Chocula.
Nice.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't know if those smells were really trapped in the stickers or it was just my senses recalling that smell. But that's what this commercial did for me. Just brought back all these memories and these smells. And so, Jim Pruitt, thank you very much for posting that. That was great. And I hadn't seen this commercial probably since 1978.
Awesome.
Yeah, who finds these old classic commercials and posts these? These are just, I could watch these all day. In fact, I think I will. Let's wrap the show up.
You know what? This YouTube channel is called the Chocula Channel.
I didn't even notice that.
Wow. I wonder what other videos that has. And
well, if you look to the right, there's all these.
Well, that's not all his videos.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you have to click on the channel. But wow, that's funny. That's funny.
I didn't think that there was enough commercials.
That is how you go down the rabbit hole of YouTube.
Oh, definitely. Oh, believe me, I've
it.
tumbled my way down many a rabbit holes in my lifetime. And so for anyone else who thinks that they have a commercial maybe we hadn't seen since our childhood, by all means, please post it on our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group and let us tumble down these rabbit holes. I thank you in advance.
Shout-outs, Skywalker shout-outs. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who was tweeted out? Shout out. Who was photobombed? Shout out. Who was shared a post? Shout out.
I would like to give a big shout out this week to our RetroZap Resistance team. RetroZap.com. It's headed by Joe Tavano, and he takes great pride in creating a website that's filled with interesting, thought-provoking, and informative content. There are some great editorials, weekly series, and then also a whole network of podcasts that keeps growing. And because this is called RetroZap, it's all about kind of that retro theme.
So it's a one-shop stop for your pop culture needs.
So Joe and Chris Salton, they do Brews and Blasters.
One of my favorite podcasts.
Yep, and there are some brand new shows to this network as well. So there is the ArgCast, and that's a retro gaming podcast that's hosted by David Giltinon and Robert Workman. And there's also the Dunecast, that just posted its episode 0, which is hosted by Joe and his friend Rod. And the first episode is a primer to the book series. So it's kind of a good one to listen to, even if you don't know anything about Dune, which is me.
Yeah, I got to confess, I've never read any of the Lord of the Rings books or Dune.
Yeah.
So instead, I'll just listen to the Dunecast and get all caught up on Dune.
There you go.
I did see the 1984 movie with Sting in his little gold briefs.
I did not. Wow. All right.
David Lynch directed that instead of Return of the Jedi.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And also a brand new podcast on that network is called Starships, Sabers, and Scoundrels. And that is by some people we know, some Skywalkers, Dennis Keithley and Darth Taxis.
That's a great name for a show, too.
Yeah.
Starships, Sabers, and Scoundrels.
I believe we had a similar name at one point. Wizards, Wands, and... Yeah. What was it?
And Wookiees.
Wookiees?
Yeah.
Well, no, it was like 4 things. It was like...
Wizards, Wands, Wookiees.
And yeah, I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
That was one of our working titles for Skywalking Through Neverland.
Yes, but Starships, Sabers, and Scoundrels, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, love those alliterations.
Yeah. So that show just premiered and is just fresh and brand new on iTunes and Stitcher. Now, each week we mention some of the other podcasts on the network, and I want to bring up one that is especially good right now to know about because Game of Thrones is now airing. So, the We Know Nothing podcast. It's a Game of Thrones podcast that's hosted by Joe Tavano and Kevin Rampelberg. They post a show like an hour after the episode airs each week. They're really quick. They're on it.
Maybe they can help us sort out the lands and the realms and the characters and the families and
absolutely
who's dead, who's alive, who's a White Walker, who's a Snow Walker, who's a Skywalker. And one of my favorite shows is also on RetroZap.com, and that's our good friends Shaz Bazaar and Jedi Schwa over there at Techno Retro Dads. These guys are of my generation. They're the returning Skywalkers.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, Techno Retro Dads totally goes hand in hand with RetroZap.com.
Yeah. So
Works out.
when they talk, it's like they're talking right to me.
Yeah. Yay. So we're proud to be a part of that podcast network. And also on RetroZap, there are a bunch of awesome articles, especially some recurring articles. So Mike Audette, he posts the Audette Set each week, and that's a weekly roundup of Star Wars in social media. So that's fun to look at and just kind of, get yourself up to date. And Bill Dranowski, he posts Photographic Plastic each week when he's a photographer, an excellent photographer, and he photographs his new action figures, some of the older ones, not necessarily all Star Wars, and they're just very artistically rendered, and he posts his article. He writes an article each week about the shoot itself as well, so it's really interesting from even just a photographer's standpoint.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And one of the other articles that recurs is Special Modifications. It's a great series by Mike McDonald, and his basically what this article series is his pursuit of perfection in one man's Star Wars room, project by project. So each article,
can relate.
Yeah, exactly. So each article kind of shows a project that he's working on.
And here's where I plug Talking Apes TV, the Planet of the Apes podcast I host with Marco Gushewitz. Now, we're taking a break from the commentary on the animated series this next show, and we're going to be talking to a couple of our friends, namely Adam O'Brien from the Jogcast Radio Network. And here's a sneak peek of our next show.
So here on Talking Apes TV, we have to train you on something, though. So we're going to ask the question again, and we're going to hope that you get the answer right. Where in fandom does Planet of the Apes fit? I'll give you a hint. Number one.
Oh, right. Okay.
If someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
It falls in number one, boys. It is the number one fandom for us out here in Jogcast Radio, Quinlan's Cantina. It is the most important fandom for us out here because we have Australian actors involved in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which are moving into also War of the Planet of the Apes.
There you go. And we have another surprise interview, which we'll tease in the next episode of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Ooh.
So it's going to be an all-interview show. Then we'll get back into the commentary of the Return to the Planet of the Apes TV series, which is a lot of fun. If you love 70s animated TV Saturday morning cartoons, you'll love Talking Apes TV. And of course, RetroZap is where you can find classic Marvel Star Wars comics and Step in Time, remembering Disney's matinee movies.
Where for our next episode, we're going to be looking at Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
A movie I have not seen, so this will be really fun. This will be, to me, what Apple Dumpling Gang was to you in our last episode of Step in Time.
Nice.
So, big shout out to Joe Tavano and the whole RetroZap team for bringing great content week in, week out. It's a lot of hard work there. So, guys, fantastic work. And if you haven't checked out everything in pop culture, this is where to go. RetroZap.com. And now let's move on to Skywalker of the Week.
Amy Wishman, Amy Wishman, Amy Wishman, Amy Wishman, Amy Wishman.
Congratulations, Amy Wishman. You are an awesome, engaged Skywalker. We love all of your comments and posts. So thank you for sharing the show, and thank you for engaging. So thank you so much. Now, if you guys want to become the Skywalker of the Week, all you have to do is just engage with us on social media or even meet us out in the wild, say at Disneyland on May the 4th.
Or at Star Wars Celebration Orlando.
Woohoo! That's right. All right. And then you will get your very own jingle as composed by Rob Dellinger.
The John Williams and Kevin Kiner of podcasting.
Oh.
Skywalker Stories. Sharing those Skywalker stories with Richard and Sarah. Skywalker Stories.
Welcome to Skywalker Stories. This is the first in a new series on Skywalking Through Neverland, where we hear about something interesting that happened to you in your fandom.
Whether it's Disney, Star Wars, or Marvel, we want to hear it. Now, first up is Alison Berrios from CosplayForJedi.
Hey, Allison!
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We are excited to have you on because we've had your magnet on our fridge for years, and I know you've joined us as a periscope walker. So, we love to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you guys so much. This is so flattering. Thank you.
Now, for the inaugural segment on Skywalker Stories, we want to hear from you. Now, what kind of story are you going to tell us?
I'm going to tell you what happened that was actually similar to what happened to you with your beard for the race.
Oh.
It was for the Force Awakens premiere, yeah. They would not let me in the movie theater at Downtown Disney because I had face paint on.
Oh.
It was crazy. Like, I had checked when I bought my tickets. It didn't say face paint was banned. They actually had tweeted that face paint was okay. So I was like, okay. So I wore full-on red body paint with my Twi'lek hat and got in line to go into the Force Awakens and was very surprised that they were not going to let me in.
If you were painted in red body paint, that means that you were Darth Talon?
I kind of went as like Darth Talon a little bit. I didn't have like the tattoos and everything. I'm not that good at makeup. The last time I tried to do mascara, I stabbed myself in the eyes. It doesn't really, it was just red. So yeah, a little bit of Darth Talon-esque, I guess you could say.
Now, do you think it was because you had all this face paint on, or is it because they didn't want to get their seats all red?
I think it was just because they had changed policy, like kind of towards the last minute, but I wasn't aware of it because the last I had heard from two different AMC sources, it was fine. So I think it was just more like a safety issue. I mean, I had been in Disney Quest for 2 hours beforehand, and like families were getting their pictures taken with me and stuff like that. The kids were really excited. So I didn't think I was that threatening. And I mean, if they were looking for someone, it'd probably be easier to find the Lethan Twi'lek than the, middle-aged person in the Star Wars shirt. So
Did they give you a reason?
They just said it was against their policy. So I was escorted from the front of AMC to the bathroom at Cirque du Soleil to wipe it off. They wouldn't even let me in the AMC bathroom to wipe it off. It was so crazy. Wow. I was like, what am I going to do between here and the bathroom?
Yeah, I know when they made me take off my Crimson Jack beard, I wanted a reason. Not just because, but a reason. And no, nothing happening.
Yeah, for it to like make sense, not just, this is our safety policy. And I'm like, I'm not unsafe. Like, I'm 5'1". What am I going to do?
With red war paint on, that suddenly makes you 6 feet or something.
Yeah, no. But in the end, I got to see The Force Awakens, so it was all worth it. There was just a little bit of a hiccup beforehand that was unanticipated, or I probably wouldn't have spent an hour putting the makeup on.
Right. Was this the first time you were going to see the movie?
Yeah, it was for the premiere.
Oh.
So it's a good thing you got there in enough time that they could boot you out of line and censor your makeup.
Yeah, I was like, can you please let us in? Because, I got ready at the hotel, then we went to Disney Quest with their family. I was like, can you just let me in? Because I was so scared. I was like, I had the #1 wristband for our theater, and I was so worried. Like, it's going to take too long. I'm going to miss it. Like, it would take that long. But, it's Star Wars. I didn't want anything to go wrong. So
of course.
It's okay.
Well, it sounds like Disney Springs, man. A bit of a stickler for rules.
It was so bizarre. I was like, okay. I was just really confused. I was like, if you were going to change policy, you could have let everyone know at some point.
No.
Right.
Disney is infamous for that. They'll change the rules and not tell you.
Yeah.
Love me some Disney, but when it comes to changing rules and policies and looking out for the fans and the guests, not really on top of things. Not Johnny on the spot there.
Yeah. So lesson learned: no more face paint if you're going to Disney Springs. So.
Or orange beards.
Or orange beards, correct.
Yes.
So-
Or microphones.
Or
apparently.
microphones.
Or microphones.
I mean, they seem really threatening, those microphones. So
Yeah, next up, Disney Springs introduces the strip search.
Oh,
I know. Like, no clothes if you're coming in here.
Well,
well, that was unfortunately. Well, at least you learned something from that, and at least you got to see The Force Awakens. Now, I know
there's a good silver lining
yes,
no,
but
for
I
sure.
know with you, I mean, you do so much at like conventions, or you just have so many interesting stories. Maybe you can leave us with a bit of a more lighter, happier story.
I will, for sure. So, I am actually the only person ever to have done a comic panel, like a panel at a Comic-Con or anything like that, with Kat Tabor and Matthew Wood at the same time. So
Wow.
that is pretty exciting. I got to do it at PalmCon last year. When I was asked to do it by the promoter, I got the message and then I cried for half an hour because I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, because Kat Tabor is like, oh, and so is Matthew Wood. So that was awesome. It took me half an hour to walk over to Matthew Wood's table because I was so nervous to go. I was like, it's General Grievous, but it was a really awesome panel, and it was cool because it's like he's doing Grievous's voice on my right and she's doing Padme on my left, and I was trying my best not to freak out. I was like, don't do anything crazy. Just stay calm. Like, it was very exciting. So that was like a really cool story.
Wow! So you got to moderate the panel?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Answer the questions and everything. I walked them in there. It was really cool, and it's like it's the second biggest convention in South Florida, but it really is like a smaller convention, but it's super, super intimate and family friendly. So it was nice. You know, the room was full. Everyone was super excited. The vibe was great. So yeah, it was amazing.
So now, did you get a chance to do any kind of voice or interact in any kind of scenario with them?
No, I didn't do anything. I don't know if I would have been able to handle it without fangirl flailing myself to death, but it was cool. And then, you know, just asking and learning about how they got started with Lucasfilm and everything like that. It was so super incredible. So
wow.
So now I feel better.
I know, right? Yes.
Get an extra bounce in my step.
Good.
Well, Alison, yeah. Now I know you have your own Etsy store. Can you tell people where people can find you, like online, on Twitter, and your Etsy shop?
The easiest way to find me is to just go to CosplayForJedi.com. And then there's a link right there. You could click shop and it'll bring you directly to my Etsy shop, which is CosplayForJedi on Etsy. On Twitter, it's at CosplayForJedi. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
about it. On Facebook too, so CosplayForJedi on Facebook.
And you make your own Leku. Is there anything else you make as well?
I make Togrutas and I make Ewoks as well, and I'm also working on 2 new species that will be coming by September, so that's exciting.
Now, when you say you're working on these species, are you creating species?
No. I am. They're tip top secret, but let's just say that if you are a fan of any Jedi with a bunch of green tentacles maybe coming off the back of his head, you would maybe be kind of excited for this one.
Oh, come on. You gotta give us a bigger hint than that.
Yeah, I know, right?
So you really specialize in headgear.
Yeah, I really only make like headgear and hoods and stuff like that because I feel like with these, it's like you don't need a whole costume. If you just put on this hat, you can wear it to like a theme park or a convention, and it's like you're ready to go. It doesn't matter if you just want to wear jeans and a t-shirt. If you put on the hat, everyone knows you're a Star Wars fan. So, yeah.
You can wear that, but you can never land on Alderaan, and you can never go to Disney Springs.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Alison. We loved hearing your stories.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was super exciting.
Skywalking through Neverland.
When you saw The Force Awakens, did you wonder what the story was behind some of those aliens? Author Landry Q. Walker did, and even wrote about 6 of them in Star Wars Tales from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, Aliens, Volume 1. Here now to give us insight into this book of short stories from Disney-Lucasfilm Press is Long Beach Skywalker, Drew Kaplan. Hey, Drew.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, thanks for critiquing this book for us.
My pleasure.
Because as the Skywalkers know, I'm a very slow reader, and you read books faster than most speed readers. I don't know how you do it with 4 kids.
Nighttime reading.
Wow.
Helps me fall asleep.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you ever sleep?
Not so much.
He's got 4 kids. What do you think?
Oh, okay.
Now he's got a new job of critiquing the new Star Wars books for us.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Welcome to the team.
Thank you so much.
Now, what is your initial critique of this Star Wars book, Tales from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, Aliens Volume 1? That is a long title.
Why don't we
It's a
just
very
call
long
it
title.
Aliens?
This book is directed by James Cameron.
Yes.
All right. So what is your initial critique of this book?
Initially, it's a nice book. It's a fun book. It's a fun read. To be honest, the thing that initially comes to mind, I juxtapose it to a Before the Awakening because they're both directed towards younger audiences and they help give you a bigger sense of the characters involved with The Force Awakens.
So what age group do you think this book is geared toward?
It's definitely going towards a younger audience. It could be read probably by as young as 8 to 10-year-olds, but teenagers can easily read it.
Well, what about for you as an adult? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it as an adult. I don't think it was like written for a really young audience.
Down,
it wasn't written
It wasn't
down.
like Hop on Pop.
Right, absolutely. It was
Okay.
something that it easily moved and flowed for an adult. It was a fun read, and it was great.
How about how long did it take you to read this one?
Well, each story, because there's 6 stories in here.
Yeah.
Are each one of them as long as the next, or are they different lengths?
They're roughly equally lengthed. I would say one can easily knock out a story each night if one were to just read in their bed like me before falling asleep.
Except
But
for me.
not Richard.
No.
Not Richard, right?
It'd be a good
Right.
month to read one of those stories.
If someone were totally dedicated and spent an entire afternoon or day, they could easily read cover to cover this entire book. If you really wanted to do that.
All right, good. Now, do you have to know the characters before going into this book? Because I know a lot of the characters are background characters who a casual reader who is interested in reading a new Star Wars book may look at these characters and say, I don't know who they are. So is it important to know who they are in The Force Awakens?
No, it's a great question. So it's not important to know who they are. You have some characters in the 6 stories. They focus on pretty much half of the stories are Takodana focused,
Okay.
the Maz Kanata Castle people, and then the other half are Jakku people.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, like, are these? For me, when I saw this book cover and I saw the name of the book, I thought it was kind of like Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina, where you're all in one place, and these are all aliens from Takodana. But you're saying they're actually from throughout.
Right, so half Jakku, half Takodana.
Okay.
And so the 3 that are from Jakku are Baba Joe, who actually gets some screen time.
Nice.
We have...
And he's the Jakku scavenger you see right behind Rey when she's talking and arguing with Unkar Plutt.
Right, with the creatures in his crates.
Bird cages.
Yes. We also have Unkar Plutt. And we also have a story about someone who we don't see on screen in the movie, but you can buy the action figure of Constable Zuvio.
Love this character.
Yes.
Love this character.
Yes.
Can we please stop talking about Constable Zuvio? He's everywhere.
But now we actually get to, hear him, read about him in action, even if he's not on screen.
Wow. Right, you know what? Let's go with that story first. Tell us about that story, since we know zero about him except he's a peg warmer at Walmart.
Right. So he keeps the peace in Ni'ima Outpost. That's his job, and it's some shenanigans go on in town, and he has to figure out what's going on.
So he didn't do his job when Unkar's thugs were trying to capture BB-8 from Rey.
Right.
Basically.
But we also don't know the relationship between him and Unkar Plutt. We don't know if maybe,
he's on the payroll.
Right. Right. So we don't know that, and we don't get a sense of that from the book.
Or
but it
from
could
the
be.
movie? Or from
Either.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't interact directly there. In the Unkar Plutt story, we see a mention of Constable Zuvio, but that's it.
So do any other characters from The Force Awakens roll through his story? No pun intended, like BB-8?
No. So here's the salient piece of that story, which is about the intelligence of droids. Which is actually something for those who've read, I know this is not a book, but the C-3PO comic that recently came out.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that comes up for those who have read it, there's a main droid that C-3PO interacts with, Omri, and he brings up this idea about the sentience of droids being more so than, of specifically protocol droids, more than regular droids. And then they get into talking about memories not being fully wiped. Go buy support your local comic book store and read it. But this story, and also there's one of the stories in Takodana also brings up the idea of droids being more than simply functionary machines, but having a certain amount of sentience more so than more of a functionary droid.
I find this interesting. Like, I notice in these Star Wars novels now that there's little things that are sprinkled in each one, like the whole ISB agents, that being a big thing. Like, that's popped up in like 4 different books and some of the comics too. The whole ISB,
The Imperial
agents.
Security Bureau.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So that, I think these things, and now you say the sentience of protocol droids. Well, I think these are things we're going to keep seeing, and they're going to pop up in one movie or another. Who knows?
Yeah.
What genre is this story? I'm getting a Western feel from it.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's a kind of a whodunit sort of thing, and then there is shooting involved, so you definitely get that.
A lot of whistling.
There could be
Good, bad and the ugly whistling.
You can imagine it.
Okay, all right, good deal.
And now you said, there's 3 stories on Takodana. Do these stories kind of tie in together with each other?
No, not at all.
They're just standalone.
They're totally standalone.
Okay.
They're all entirely isolated. The 3 Takodana stories. One is about the Crimson Corsair. He's the guy who Finn goes to get on his ship, about to go on the ship before the Hosnian system's attacked.
He's got the cool red head.
Yes,
Okay.
with the
redhead.
Yes, him. And so it's his ship. Although the story actually does not take place in Takodana, it takes place elsewhere. But you get the sense that he's gallivanting about and he's doing really cool things. The other 2 stories take place in the castle. One involves the chef who apparently, you'll love this, Richard, is inspired to get into cooking by Gourmanda.
Stir, whip, whip, stir.
What?
Yes, he found old HoloNet vids and as a child, and he got totally inspired to go into cooking. So direct holiday special reference right there.
Oh
we just
my
referenced this
goodness.
in our Disney Star Wars Create Your Own Holiday segment where it all comes back to Gourmanda.
Yes.
Wow.
Her and her Bantha cooking TV reality shows.
Goodness.
Yes. And then the last story on Takodana involves these 2 little Fragosians. They're like little furry creatures who, it's almost like a Halloween story. It's kind of creepy. It's like it feels like a dark and stormy night story where they recreate people's faces and test out subjects not entirely according to their will.
Whoa.
So it's a creepy story.
Characters on the cover of the book, the ones with the Lidsville characters?
Yes. They're the little yellow furry guys with the goggles, the red goggles.
Played by Warwick Davis's daughter. These are the characters I call the Lidsville characters. They look like characters from Lidsville. People from the 70s are going, yeah, I know. I get that reference. Sid and Marty Krofft, Lidsville, anyone?
We're shaking our
Sorry,
heads.
different generation here.
All right, so tell us about their story now. What are these aliens called?
They're Fragosians. So this is the sort of the creepy story amongst the 6. It's interesting. I would say the thing that characterizes this story is Schadenfreude. There's another character that comes into the picture, and she's a bandit. She's an outlaw, and comes across their way, and she wants to get a face change because she's being hunted by the authorities. So it's
what does Schadenfreude mean?
So for anybody who's seen Avenue Q, I don't know if well, if you've seen Avenue Q,
I'm a different generation. Sorry.
one of the characters mentions Schadenfreude. Then one of the others say, "Oh, it's German for getting enjoyment out of someone else's pain," and then they remark, "Oh, that is German." So it's just basically you get a sense of I don't want to be spoilery about it, but it's a interesting and definitely the creepiest amongst the 6 stories.
So Rita Halloween. Got it.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it's very appropriate for
very
Halloween.
nice.
Yep, definitely.
Oh, that'll tie into our holiday segment. Now, what about Unkar Plutt? I heard that in his story, kids can go to the Cerritos Mall and sit on his lap. Oh. Am I making up my own story here?
Yes.
Am I flashing back from our previous segment?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead with Unkar Plutt.
Yeah, so it's interesting. You get a sense that he comes from an amphibious world, and so he's literally a fish out of water on Jakku. But you also start to get a sense of how much wealth and power he wields in Jakku, and specifically within Ni'ima Outpost, and what happens when a couple of underlings seek to swindle from him. And but here's the funny thing: there also is online dating in this.
What?
Yes,
of course there is. Of course.
So that's the fascinating twist of them trying to create someone for Unkar Plutt to date.
Wow.
Is he looking for love in Alderaan places? Come on. Work with me here. Yes,
Had
and.
to be
yes,
said, I
yes,
suppose. My goodness.
Well, I got a question about Unkar. I don't know if they answer it in this. Does he have ties to the New Order? Just because in Force Awakens, as soon as he sees BB-8, something clicks that maybe he had heard, and immediately calls to his men, "Hey, get that droid because he wants to give it to the First Order." Or was in the Force Awakens, was he just saying, "Hey, that's a cool droid. I want that"?
Yeah, my supposition is that he's out for money and he knows he can make a fast buck off of this, or credit as it were.
It seems like he has got an ulterior motive for wanting BB-8 in particular. So I thought maybe he's got ties to
there's a price on BB-8's head, right? So
right, but
I think it has to
that
do
word
with-
travels pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they're watching some of those HoloNet videos.
Well, word travels fast here on Twitter. I don't see why it would be any different in the Star
Oddly
Wars
enough,
universe.
In Star Wars, that technology doesn't exist in the Star Wars universe.
So you think. But
Yeah.
if there's online dating, I don't know.
Well, you can have online dating or you can have Twitter. You can't have both in the Star Wars universe.
So did you become the holocron keeper all of a sudden?
It's a question for Leland G.
Yes. Yeah,
Leland asked me not to
tweet.
say anything, but yes, I am. Asterisk, no, I'm really not.
But asking about Unkar Plutt and his relationship with the First Order brings up a fascinating thing is, I don't know when this book takes place.
Oh.
It's reading from maybe online we can, Google and find out, but from the stories themselves, we don't know if they take place before, after, during The Force Awakens. It really could be any of them. So I think that's what's really fascinating.
Well, going back to Baba Joe.
Okay.
Doesn't his storyline take place during A New Hope?
Yeah, so his story is initially placed, he's in a far out settlement somewhere else on Jakku, not in any of the settlements we've seen in The Force Awakens. And something's going on, but he relates a story that took place, apparently he was on the Death Star shortly before it was blown up in A New Hope. And not only that, his creatures had a hand in helping get it done.
His little bird creatures.
Right. So you think that Luke Skywalker blew it up all by himself? No, Baba Joe's creatures helped the destruction of the Death Star.
Wow. Well, I look forward to
how I
reading
feel
that
about
one.
I don't know. Yeah, it's almost a little bit revisionistic. I think it's an interesting read.
Okay.
Now, we kind of skimmed over Crimson Jack. The Crimson Corsair. Tell us a little bit about this character and what his story entails.
So he's a really fascinating character. So we see him in the movie where Finn's trying to get onto a ship with another creature, and he's apparently really awesome. And so in that story, what happens is during the Clone Wars, so the flashback.
Oh, Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars
nice.
reference. A ship en route to Count Dooku with special treasure special cargo meant directly for Count Dooku and his eyes only, is en route and goes down during the Clone Wars, never to be seen or heard from again until this story. And so it's kind of like one of those movies where like 5 or 6 different people converge on the same prize all at the same time.
Oh, nice.
Like
And so
it's a mad world.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's so everybody's jostling and trying to kill each other, and it's a really fun and fascinating story to find out what this amazing treasure meant directly for Count Dooku is. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
Well, and when does this take place during the prequel era, or we don't know?
No, this definitely takes place closer to The Force Awakens. I think, in as much as it's unclear when these stories take place, I think it's supposed to be close-ish to The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Some rough proximity.
Well, that sounds fun to read.
Yeah.
For me in a day.
Yes.
For Richard in a month.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sitting right here, okay?
I know.
I heard that. All right, now, before we wrap things up, tell everyone what your favorite story was.
So thank you. My favorite story was A Recipe for Death, which focuses on the head chef of Maz Kanata's castle. His name is Strano Tugs, and it's a murder mystery.
Oh.
So his sous chef is murdered, and he has to figure out who did it.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. You know what? I'm sold. This is going to be on my list right after Son of Dathomir.
Oh, yes. Essential reading.
All right, now,
especially before the season 2 finale of Rebels.
Ah.
What happened to the last time we saw Maul? It was in Son of Dathomir.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. I'm on it.
Great.
So now, before we wrap this up, Drew, do you have any final thoughts on Aliens?
Thank you, Sarah. Yes. So I can't help but thinking of Before the Awakening, whereas that's a direct introduction into The Force Awakens, really helpful in getting to know these key characters into the movie and what's motivating and going on for them in the days, weeks, and months leading up to the movie. Here we see 6 stories of characters. Some are in the movie, some are not in the movie. It's not as essential. It definitely, you can read them. You can't, if you haven't seen the movie, you can still read this book. Right, it doesn't affect. There's not any direct connections to the movie, which is fascinating. I would say it's not as essential as I would say Before the Awakening, but it's a fun read. If you really want to just like geek out about Star Wars and the characters, it's just a fun read, it's really nice and it's cool.
All right, so if anyone has any other questions they want to ask you about this and any other books, because you are the book guru.
Thank you.
How can they get a hold of you?
So thank you, Richard. I have a Star Wars blog at starwarsmaven.info, and I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at StarWarsMaven.
All right, well, Drew will be back in a couple of weeks to review the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia and Star Wars The Force Awakens incredible cross-sections.
Awesome.
Now, Drew will also be writing some reviews for our site and his site, so make sure to check out skywalkingthroughneverland.com and also starwarsmaven.info.
All right. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, Drew.
Now get reading.
Yes. Thank you so much, Richard and Sarah.
That wraps up episode 119 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We hope everyone had a great May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, or Revenge of the 6th. And we'd like to thank Alan Sanborn, Alison Berrios of CosplayForJedi, Drew Kaplan of StarWarsMaven.info, and everyone who gave us their 2 cents in making up their own holiday.
And we want to thank Rob Dellinger for composing our new Skywalker Stories jingle.
As well as all the jingles he does. It's so amazing.
Of course, you all know Rob Dellinger.
The John Williams of podcasting. Now, make sure to check out retrozap.com, which we just plugged in our Skywalker shoutouts this week. So be sure to check that out, guys. And head on over to skywalkingthroughneverland.com, where our BB-8 t-shirt designs are available from TeePublic, as well as our Skywalker of the Week design and our own logo design. So many designs can be found there. Just click on the Support Us tab on skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And whoever just bought the BB-8 holiday Christmas shirt,
yes,
way to go.
I know.
This is the person who's really ahead of schedule.
I know.
Christmas shopping in May.
I love it. We love it, man. We love it. We also have links on skywalkingthroughneverland.com to Her Universe. So if you feel like shopping there, please go to our website first and click on that Support Us tab.
The more you click through, the more giveaways we can do, because all that money goes right into the shipping.
Yay! There you go.
A win-win, win-win-win for everybody.
And now our conversation continues all week, 24/7, and we are at Skywalking Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and Snapchat. Also on Facebook, we are Skywalking Through Neverland. We also have, of course, the new Facebook Skywalker group. So make sure to search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group, and it should pop right up, and you can request to be added to that group.
What a great conversation hub that is.
It really is. I mean, people are posting all the time, like interesting pictures or interesting things that happen to them. Just like, it's really cool. It's a tight-knit community of Skywalkers.
Yeah, a lot of great conversations are started there.
Yeah, in fact, just this past week, Yogi Kai, Kai Charles, posted there and asked, hey, do you guys want to do a live tweet of the Mortis arc from the Clone Wars trilogy? And I said, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's get Sandra Shoot on this, because Sandra, she does the social media for the Fangirls Going Rogue, and she's really good at like creating these Twitter parties. I don't know, so I enlisted her help to really get this going. She created an infographic for it. We scheduled it for this past Saturday, April 30th, and bam, 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 we created the hashtag Mortis Arc Live, and all of a sudden we had this tweet party at 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and it was really fun. And that was just from one post from one of our Skywalkers in our Facebook group.
It's where things happen.
Yeah.
Now, what if they want to leave an iTunes review?
Well, if they do, they can get some points for the giveaway. So right now, we are giving away, or courtesy of DK Publishing, we are giving away the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia New 2016. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Skywalkers, for listening. And let's see, is there anything more that needs to be said?
Happy holidays.
What?
Happy May the 4th.
Yub nub?
Revenge of the 5th.
Utini!
Or, as we would say on Skywalking Through Neverland,
always remember,
Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman.
All right, let's get
Thank
back
you, Erica.
into the show.
Okay.
All right, we roll into clip and roll out of the things we want to share. Jingle by Rob Dellinger. Ewok Fairness Awareness Day.
Fierceness.
What did I say?
Fearness.
Oh. On Ewok Fierceness. Now, what would you eat? Percussive blah, of the first single called "She Makes Me Laugh."
Here, say that whole sentence once more.
Okay, hold on one second.
If I had to come up with a holiday, it would be superfralo... Blah. Meh.